Welcome to Make a Difference with Phil Martelli. He is Phil Martelli. I am Jared Phillips. We are back at the Martelli residence after a wonderful week out at Atlanta Country Club, a beautiful venue for a podcast, and we had an awesome opportunity to chat with Jamil Harris Morrison of Achievability. But back in the living room, back here, feels nice to kind of get our bearings once again, and the hoops is ramping up. We're getting real close to that first real practice of the basketball season.
Some have already started.
Yeah, and I know that the program that you've obviously been keeping a keen eye on has been ramping things up. Expectations are high down there in Richmond, and I feel like it's been such a unique opportunity to see not only really both of your sons have that opportunity to kind of take a program by the horns and really make it theirs together, which I think really must feel so special.
Well, it really does feel special, and there's any number of ways to kind of open this week's episode. Would be, the number of people that would say, "Well, why did you push him in this business?" I'd be like, "No, all that it gave us as a family, all that it gave me, all of the opportunities to make a difference in somebody else's life. Why wouldn't I want that?" If that's what they wanted, and that's what they've both wanted since they were young. Philip, younger than Jimmy. Jimmy always wanted to be an athletic administrator, and fell into basketball. And Mike Rhodes took him on, and people at Dickinson took him on, and he had just tremendous mentors away from the home. And he has been away probably that long now. Philip came back. But what I always think about is the family name, not our family name, not like a selfish thing and egotistical thing, but I think it's a gift. A family name is a gift that we all have been given. We didn't earn it. We didn't buy it. We all get one. And then we are obligated to protect it and to promote it. And in our own way, no matter what field you're in. And interestingly, our guest today, this has resonated with me. You create a legacy, not just for yourself, but those who have put you forward in your family. Decisions that we make, and instantaneous decisions are based on, how will this reflect on my family? And that's a burden. It's a burden, but it's a healthy burden, because it does take you that moment to think about, am I lifting up my family name? You make others feel better in a small way. You create that by having them in your circle. There's a lot of talk about family. And you see some basketball teams, athletic teams. Well, we're a family. Are you really? I'm just asking the question. Because in a family, you know what you need to know about others that are in that family. The stories can be endless when you get into these family names and histories and things like that. But more important than the stories are the fact that your impact must be bottomless. Our guest today has created their family legacy, and it keeps giving and giving and giving. And that's why all of us have the opportunity, and I'd even go so far as to say the obligation, protect your family name in all that you do. And VCU has started. They're going to be part of where I've been. Because I will admit to you, when we get to where I've been, when I was writing it out, this is the first time in a year where I thought, what the hell am I doing?
Rethinking that fake retirement, maybe we'll get there. We'll get there. We have a terrific guest to get to, but Not until we hit
the Martelli Minute.
Exactly right.
Because you get it every morning at 6:30.
That's correct.
On Instagram, Phil_Martelli. We continue to be appreciative of Status Solutions, statussolutions.com. What do? They present to schools technology that will keep our loved ones, those little ones, safe as could be. And every community has a chance to impact their schools by going to statussolutions.com. And certainly we've had our share in this month of situations that Status Solutions can help. They can't prevent, but they can help. So we appreciate them. So make today special by counting the moments, not the minutes. Silence often leads to clarity. Life is an all-in participation sport. Progress need not be quick or easy as long as it's steady. A simple act of kindness provides powerful impact. Again, this was going to relate two ways. Family legacy, a simple act of kindness. It doesn't have to be a massive act of kindness. Provides powerful impact. Our guest today is going to talk about that. But all of us now, I have my family name and the smallest of acts. And then the final one, concentrating on your individual improvement development is most necessary for team development and ultimately our level of success. Our referring to all the teams that we're on. We're in a team in our family, in our schools, in our communities, in our charitable endeavors, in our businesses. All of those are teams. How is team success garnered? It's by the individual improving and developing. Individual, team, and then success. But no one is there alone. It's the whole adage, individual accolades do not come before team success. Team success leads to individual accolades. So that's the Martelli Minute. Every morning at what time?
6:30 a.m.
Wow. On Instagram, right?
At Phil_Martelli. That's where you find it.
The Martelli Minute. And we continue to get email and suggestions and thoughts. Got another one Monday night of this week asking if we've thought about putting out a virtual book of Martelli Minutes. Because this person is so moved by what we're doing. So thank you to everybody that feeds us this inspiration. And talking about inspiration, how about today's guest? You read the bio.
Impressive.
No question. As you go through life, and I don't want to sound like the old guy sitting on my porch, but I've been blessed in my life to meet game changers, real game changers. And people often pat us on the back, as they did last week, for being at the Coaches versus Cancer golf event. And they'll say, you did this. And I correct them often and say, we started it. Fran Dunphy and I started it when we went to all the coaches in the Big Five and said, let's do this. But if we're going to do it, let's do it to be the best in the country. And our whole approach to it changed when we met one man, the head of Independence Blue Cross, Blue Shield at the time, Fred DiBona. And when we met him, we recognized he's the game changer. His family, his dear wife, Sylvia, children, Fred Jr., Christine, all of their families have become dear friends to Judy and I, and to so many in this area. And more important than that, the friendship is great, but role models for community engagement and betterment. That's what they've taken. Fred fought this fight against cancer. They all fought the fight against cancer. And then they stepped back. And what did they do? They became friends, but their community engagement and betterment, their commitment to it. Christine was the quieter of the children. And to watch her development into this force of nature with what she's doing with Fred's footsteps has been, it's tear-worthy to me. She commands a room. She has an unmatched aura, a great mom, wife, daughter, sister, friend. Most important to us, a difference maker right here, right here. Remember, hero, ordinary person who goes to extraordinary lengths for others on a daily basis. You know what? Let's welcome Christine Lobley to our podcast. Christine, great to see you.
Good morning. That was quite an introduction. Thank you.
Well, Christine, like oftentimes I'm kind of reticent and I stay, but I'm a bit of a wordsmith.
You absolutely are. You absolutely are. And I've learned from the best, always taking notes from you on how to command a room and how to tell a story.
So, Christine, I had written out these questions, and when I reviewed them again early this morning, I said, no. We have to start. We have to start with this. Would you please tell all of us about the superhero, Fred DiBona? Just, there's people out there that don't know, and I know, but Jared even doesn't know. I want to start there.
Yeah, absolutely. So Fred was, first and foremost, he was my dad. And he was an extraordinary dad, and extraordinary person. And, he passed away when I was 23 years old. We're celebrating 20 years of Fred's footsteps now. And, I always say I wouldn't trade only having him for 23 years to have any other dad in the world. So, after he passed away, we learned a lot about how other people felt about him and what other people thought about him. And they told us stories about what he did for them. And it was stuff that was just so incredible that we knew that there was no way we could let that die with him. And oftentimes it was quietly done. He didn't need the accolades, but he truly believed and lived in the mantra that to whom much is given, much is expected. And it wasn't optional to help people. It wasn't something that was nice to do if you had time. It had to be who you were. And he lived his life that way, and inspired this mission at Fred's Footsteps to continue to do that.
You said, not optional. It's not optional to help others. Now take us, Fred's Footsteps. You're now 20 years in. What is it? There's people out there. What is it? And how did you get to here today? And then what about tomorrow for Fred's Footsteps? Take us through that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Fred's Footsteps, our vision is that a child's health should be a parent's only worry. Families dealing with the unimaginable should not be concerned about anything other than getting their precious children taking care of them, being there for them. And the unfortunate reality is that that's not always the case. And for some people, they're lucky enough to be able to do that. But for others, they're struggling, and on their heart and on their mind are their finances, how they're going to keep their home, how they're going to keep their family together, the other siblings. And that's where we step in to make a difference for that family and to help them through that difficult time. And, know that they have a team. They have someone behind them. They have somebody who's helping them financially, providing hope, providing support. So we do that through 3 different funds at Fred's Footsteps. So we provide funding for rent, mortgage, utilities, transportation costs while one or both parents is out of work through our Bridge Fund. Then our Keys to Mobility Fund helps with accessible transportation so that children can make it to their medical appointments, access to their health care, and be out in the community with their families where they deserve to be. And then our last fund is Pat's Projects, which is named after one of our founding board members, Pat Gillespie, who passed away a few years ago. And that project helps with home modifications. So making homes safe and accessible for children to remain at home, for parents to safely care for them at home. So that's room modifications, bathrooms, ramps, anything to make that possible for those families.
I have to laugh, Christine, because one of our the biggest source for who's out there making a difference is Arlene Gillespie. And so this was a year ago, and she said to me, here's the list. You get every one of these on the podcast. It'll be a hit. And top of the list was your name. And I said, Arlene, Christine and I have already talked about this. And she was a little bit put off by like, well, what do you mean you thought of it first? So who's out there? She watches every episode and then she'll critique, but always Pat was a superstar. She's beyond that for make a difference with regard to who that we need to highlight. So I want you to know that. And
of course,
make sure we tell her you and I've talked about this for over a year.
Yes, we have. Yeah, she is a force of nature.
Yes. I'm really interested in this. The people that you've met, the strength that they have, the people that you've met and the people that you have helped. How did they strengthen you? How have they lifted you?
I mean, every single day, you hear stories about what people are going through and you know, how they continue to have gratitude and you know, we hear so many times, thank you for choosing us. And we know there's so many people out there who have it worse. And when you look at what they're going through, you're like, how can you be thinking about anyone else besides yourself? You know, and people show their determination in different ways. Some people are more, you know, verbose about it and out there and telling their stories, and it's just this quiet determination to keep going. But it truly keeps our team going. And you know, them sharing their stories, sharing their impact, sharing their children's lives, and a lot of times it's the siblings too, and telling us what difference it made for the siblings. You know, we had one mom, I'll never forget it, probably 15 years ago, and she said how she was trying so hard not to let her kids see the cracks, but she knows they were seeing them, the siblings. And that when we stepped in, she was able to kind of let go of that and not show that anymore. And it's such an amazing inspiration to see what they're going through every day and how they're continuing to put one foot in front of the other, but they shouldn't have to do it alone, and nobody should have to do it alone. And you know, they can, but just because they can doesn't mean that they should. And that's kind of our whole model around that.
Just an editorial statement. The people that come and ask for help are among the strongest people that you'll ever meet, because they're strong enough to ask. Asking for help is not a weakness; it's a strength of character. And I've met the people with Christine, not as intimately as she has, but the strength. And then the flip side of that on the editorial would be, when you get into position where you can give your time, your talent, your treasures, you can get in position to give, you end up getting more than you ever gave. And that's a driving force with Fred's Footsteps, with the DiBona family. They've given, but they've gotten even more than they gave, but not the reason that they gave. Whatever you can, time, talent, treasures, please look around. Somebody needs you. Your father, your family, Philadelphia. What is it that makes Philadelphia so willing to help? What's the specialness, if that's a word, of Philadelphia, Christine?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so much, and it's hard to put your finger on, but one of the things that was written in my dad's obituary was that he loved an underdog. So this is 20 years ago. And he really did. And I think that Philadelphia always feels like an underdog story. And it always feels like there's a grit here that you just don't see other places. And I think that in the Philadelphia spirit and culture is getting around an underdog, getting around somebody who's just down on their luck. Whether it's teams, whether it's people, and we love that story of being a part of what pulls them up and lifts them up. And it's just really a special community here in Philadelphia. We're a place where neighbors take care of neighbors, and a community where people truly care and want to give what they can. And we just need to find ways to make that possible for people, to feel good in how they can make a difference and in helping with somebody's underdog story.
You have a way with words, and in one of your answers, you said our team. You didn't say my team. You said our team. So that whole adage of it takes a village, and you certainly are an example of that. And Fred's Footsteps is an example of that. Come on, Christine, brag about your people,
Oh,
your
I
team.
can't say.
Brag.
I mean, I can't say enough good things about our team here at Fred's Footsteps. We're a small staff. We're only 5 people. So we're getting over $1 million out into the community each year with only 5 people doing that. And they are, it's an all women team that just comes with passion and caring and determination each day. And we truly live into the values that my dad taught me. And one of the things we always say here at Fred's Footsteps is it's not just what you do, it's how you do it. So it's not just that we're giving funding to families, it's how we're doing it. It's we're making sure that they feel they have hope, and that we never treat them in a way that's lesser because they're getting help, and that we do it in the most dignified way possible. It's hard. It's hard for anyone to get help, but to make sure that how we're giving that help is family first. And our whole team embodies that, from our social media team to making sure that whatever message we put out there is focused on the family's story. It's not our story, it's their story. To everyone who's interacting with our donors, our communities, our families, how we do things matters, not just what we do.
There's always a quiet dignity around Fred's Footsteps. Take us through the calendar, and then how can we help? How can our people from Make a Difference help Fred's Footsteps? Because you do have a very, very healthy calendar, I'll say.
We do. We have a very busy calendar. We just came off of our golf outing 2 days ago, which was a huge success. We're entering into the end of the year season where we're trying to get as many people to support our mission as possible. It's going to be a tough end of year for a lot of families, and we do surprise packages for the families in our program. So we send out gift cards for Thanksgiving, for families to buy meals. We send out gift cards for the holidays for families to buy gifts for their children and to do something special for the parents as well and the caregivers. And that's one of the things, again, where it matters how you do things. And we give gift cards so that the families can buy their meals and so that the families can buy their children's gifts. So, we're always looking for folks who want to support that. Those efforts. So if there's any, companies, groups, individuals out there who want to get together a group and do a fundraiser, do anything to help us, make those holidays special for the families in our program, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love you to connect with us and talk about whatever project you might want to run for the holidays. We're celebrating 20 years this year, so we're really, excited to roll out our homecoming campaign. We're featuring some families. I encourage people to take a look, follow us on social media, hear the stories directly from the families. And then next year we'll roll into our big spring event in March down at Urban Outfitters. So Dad will be here before we know it. Always looking for support for that event as well.
It's tremendous. Now, earlier in my introduction for Christine, I mentioned her wonderful, wonderful mother and her brother. So tell us about your mom.
My mom's the best. I got two wonderful parents, and I'll never forget that, and know who I am today is because of both of them. And I often, it's great that you bring her up, because I often talk about my dad, because that's what we're doing here. But she's an amazing person. She, fought this cancer battle with him, and has just been a huge inspiration to me and to so many. And she's, become kind of the quiet behind the scenes. We call her sometimes the chief begging officer, though. She'll, if we know there's somebody we got to get to, she'll make that phone call and do anything for Fred's Footsteps and the families that we serve. So she is, just a huge force, and my brother as well. Just, we're all in this together, and we all have the same mentality, the same values, and wanting to make a difference in the community.
Well, we're going to get to your brother, because I know this for a fact. Fred Jr. is all Villanova all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Christine, I have to know. I know that your brother at some point in time probably had a beer with the Pope, since the Pope went to Villanova. What's your brother's connection with the Pope? It has to be there. Come on,
I
Christine.
don't know. I'm not really sure. They might have passed each other in a Wawa once, but yeah, believe me, if we had the Pope's number, from Villanova, we'd be calling over there too. So, but yeah, no, he's Villanova ride or die, my brother.
He has always been, and
Mm-hmm.
his connection at some of the events when Fran Dunphy, myself, and Jay Wright, it's just so tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
Those national championships, I was pretty sure that Fred Jr. played in those games, the way he beamed about those games.
He did.
So I think this is somewhat of a layup for you, Christine. But we always end the guest segment with this question: who's made a difference in your life?
Oh, gosh, I don't know that that's a layup. And I think that I'm blessed because that's not a layup, because I've had so many people, so many mentors, so many, supporters, the Arlene Gillespie's, and obviously my mom, the whole Gillespie family. And we've just had a lot of people who've supported Fred's Footsteps, and supported me personally, and helped me along in the way. So, gosh, who has made a difference in my life? I'm going to say that, having kids, my children really taught me so much about patience and perspective. And once you hold that baby in your arms, we started this before I had children, and then being able to compare what I have and what I'm lucky enough to have in my life, to seeing what the families we go through. I don't think I could have had any better teacher than my kids.
Wow. So we've done this probably 50 times now. We're close.
This is our 51st episode.
51st episode. And I'm going to tell you, Christine, that's the first where kids have won. Overwhelmingly on the other side, the moms and all you represent have won. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. The moms have been the overwhelming biggest difference maker, but I love the kids' answer. That is truly to change your perspective
right there.
And the work that you do, Christine, with Fred's Footsteps, I think that's so valuable when you become that parent. You understand exactly what that means. I can't imagine. I'm not there yet, but I mean, I can't imagine what that means to kind of want to pay that forward when you have children of your own.
Yeah, absolutely. That fierce loyalty towards your kids, and just, wanting to protect them. And I think it made me be able to see what we're doing, and how it's making a difference for these families, and, giving them some of that to be able to do that for their kids.
Well, Christine, first and foremost, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for all you're doing And most especially, thank you for being a difference maker in our community. God bless.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having me today. And thank you as well for your friendship and support.
Thanks, Christine.
All right. Take care.
Just another rock star.
51 episodes. And I'm telling you, we weren't 4 in until Arlene gave me this list. And we've covered a number of them, but we have some for the spring that are really changing Philadelphia and continue to change Philadelphia. So, Arlene, I know you're out there. Keep those emails coming. We need them. We need all these suggestions that we can. But probably for the first time, I shared this with you. Writing out where I have been. I had to catch my breath.
Do I need to put my seatbelt on for this one?
You might have to, because it is.
You hit the road a little bit.
I was on the road quite a bit, driving and listening on the Sirius radio, and sometimes having a passenger and sometimes not having a passenger, and talking to myself and answering myself. So let's go.
I'm a little worried. You said some. I'm assuming Aunt Judy just having to listen to just endless sports talk radio is just
on occasion that happens. Springsteen and
oh, there we go. All right.
And,
as long as you're mixing a little bit of the balls.
We mix in some. But we started at Lanark Country Club, the alumni meeting, and again, shout out to Kelly Schaefer and John Griffin. The breakfast is going to be bigger than ever. The post March Madness breakfast will be on in the Wells Fargo. What's the name of it now?
The Xfinity Mobile Arena now.
That's where we're going to have it. And we've added a little wrinkle. Yes, we're going to have alumni coaches, members of the media. We're asking each of the 6 schools to send one of their great players. But we are also going to add anybody who is being inducted into the Big 5 Hall of Fame this year. We want them to be our guest. We want them to be our guest in March. No speeches, no anything, but it's just impactful to know that the basketball community rallying around Coaches versus Cancer. And John Griffin is relentless, and I appreciate him allowing me to join with him on this purposeful mission to again crush cancer. VCU Zoom, a Zoom with the coaches as they were getting ready for practice, followed by, and this is a recommendation, almost an obligation being presented to everybody. Eustace Wolfington has executive produced a movie called Cabrini. Mother Cabrini, first American saint. That movie is a biography, whatever is beyond a biography in terms of messaging. And I mean this respectfully. It's not a religious movie. It is a movie about an extraordinary difference maker. And again, through John Griffin, I had the chance to meet Eustace, to hear about his plan. The Cabrini Way is almost an educational program that's going to get into schools, because once you see what this woman from Italy, even though she's American, the first American saint, this woman from Italy, what she accomplished and the challenges that she faced, it's not exactly a biography movie, but it is based on real life situations that she was in, and it will change you. It will change you. And if you have children or grandchildren, I'm going to say 6th, 7th grade and above, they need to see this. And high school kids, absolutely. And right now they're going parish by parish, community by community, and making sure that this movie, Cabrini, gets out there. So Eustace Wolfington, thank you for allowing me to spend an afternoon with you. We then had a meeting with the city of Philadelphia representative, Jimmy Dillon, who at one time was a state senator and now is in charge of bringing basketball back to the Philadelphia rec centers. He and Ernie Gallagher, who's the commissioner of CYO basketball, we met to discuss the Philadelphia Coaching Academy. Delighted to have spent time with them. Beth Devine from PYSC. Tremendous phone call with her staff. And then I drove to New York, and I was honored to receive the Lapchek Award, which is a Joe Lapchek, legendary Hall of Fame coach at St. John's before Lou Carnesecca. And I was presented that honor, and it's given for character, not for career and records and all that stuff, but it was for character. Joined by Gene Steratore, who is an NFL analyst, rules analyst, top of the line NCAA referee. He's an analyst there now as a referee. Gino Auriemma, and also Frank McLaughlin, who was the former athletic director at Fordham, along with an unbelievable string of successes playing and coaching basketball along the way. The New York Athletic Club having a chance to be there Thursday night and Friday. Introduced by my son, Philip. Jimmy was in the audience. And how about Rob Hartshorn, a walk-on for us? Drove up from Middletown, Delaware, 6 a.m. and arrived, and there were no tickets. It was sold out. And he went there, and his statement to me is, "I will get in." And when I walked in, there he was, front and center. And Rob is a guy that ends every phone call with "I love you," and right back at him. So thank him for being there. Turned around and drove back, and that was one of the things about driving back. So I want you to get this picture. We left Central Park in New York at 3:45 on a Friday afternoon to roll into media. Give me a guesstimate.
Brother. 8:15 p.m.
Wow. 7:45.
Wasn't that far off.
So it was a 4-hour trip, but I needed to get back because Alex Yo and the Delaware Bluecoats were holding an open tryout, invited me to come to the Chase Fieldhouse down there in Wilmington to watch the tryout, and delighted to see so many Philadelphia connected people with basketball. Sunday, Coach Brandon at Penn Charter brought me over for his youth clinic called Build Better. Build Better. Spent some time with them and walking around the Penn Charter campus. Packed again and drove to VCU for conversations with the coaching staff and also watching a practice and connecting with the 6 grandchildren that live there. 3 for dinner, 3 for dessert, because the 3 for dessert had to come from a 2-hour field hockey practice, and had a chance to see Jimmy's new home and spend time with them, and then drove back up 95. And as we drove up 95, Jimmy came with me because he's gone recruiting in Philadelphia, driving back up 95, rain sideways, Sirius radio, checking the fills, making sure that we're keep moving in that direction for that first round bye. And then sat down and said, I'm a little tired.
You gotta chill out for a sec there, man. I don't know.
It was pretty good.
It
took me a while to even write it out and think it all
honestly,
to remember where it was.
I said last week, but I do want to say congratulations again on Lap
Thank
Trick
you.
Award. It's very incredible. I mean, a great distinction along with a number of people. I thought it was interesting that the award was for character, not being a character. I think you could argue for either one for you.
Well, in the introduction, that's what your cousin said, and he also said, "I have a little bit of a tell." When I have a story, because I have a lot of these stories, and they'll say, "You're not going to believe this one." Then you start, and he said some of them are absurd, and some of them are inspirational, but they are always true.
I like that. I wish I could scrub through all 50 episodes and count the. You're not going to believe this one, because there might be 50 of them.
Well, then I took a breath and said, "How do we move forward? What's to come?" I am going to leave town, just in and out, but I'm going to go to AC, Atlantic City. I've been given a gift for my birthday at the end of August to see Sebastian Maniscalco. Do you know this comedian?
I'm not familiar.
He's very, very funny, but have a chance to see him. I need to head to the Phils because by the time this is out, the bye will be clinched. But I need to go there to make sure everything's. We're going to bring Sosa back in the lineup. Going to move a couple of these other guys probably to stay hot. They have a mini camp or something in Allentown where they call it Stay Hot. So we'll go back to hopefully Bryce Harper has gotten over the flu, and Sosa and Stott and Bohm, that's an infield, and then the outfield got to get this worked out. Little couple of hitches in the bullpen, but I need to be there and be in business. Back in town, and then Saturday, and we're going to put a lot of this out. I want to make sure I have this. I have been selected for induction into the Philadelphia Black Basketball Hall of Fame. My dearest of dear friends, teammate, classmate at St. Joe Prep, Mo Howard, is running this, and it's at the Emerald Room in Philadelphia, Saturday, the 27th, 4:00. We'll get all this information out. There are still seats available. There's a program book, but the names, it's here's who's being inducted: Jay Bagley, Joe Bryant, Kevin Givens, Keisha Hampton, Laura Harper, Brittany Hartnanko, Herb McGee, Phil Martelli, Ian Newman, Jay Norman, Tony Roberts, Mitch Snyder, Stacy Smalls, Mike Sojourner, Willie Sojourner, Dion Waiters, Tom Washington, Randy Woods.
Wow. Yeah.
So this will start at 4:00 on Saturday. I hope to be available for our next podcast on Monday. But to Mo Howard and to everybody involved, Philadelphia Black Basketball Hall of Fame, I am honored and humbled and excited. And I already wrote out the 3 stories, and they're going to be, wait till you hear this one, for everybody in that room. So again, Black Basketball Hall of Fame, the celebration, class of 2025 will be there, and we'll have information out, and hopefully a couple more people can wander in, and you're sitting with royalty from Philadelphia. That will just be amazing. So thank you for them. Then Sunday, I will attend a mass for our family saint, Aunt Patsy. They're having a mass for her at Camilla Hall, and have that chance to celebrate with the IHMs and her dear friend Pat Walsh. And Patsy did a lot for all of us in our family, and we want to pay that back. as best we can and ask her for the help that we all need. Because, on top of all that, the Philadelphia Coaching Academy is real and ready. October 4th, Archbishop Ryan High School. October 11th, Archbishop Wood High School. October 19th, Monsignor Bonner High School. And October 25th, School of the Futures. The Academy is a teaching opportunity and a learning opportunity. Coaches 8th grade and under. Boys, girls, A teams, B teams, rec teams, travel teams, CYO teams, middle school teams. We're asking you to spend 3 hours with us at one of those 4 sites. And myself and a high school coach will show you drills that will enable you to have an efficient and effective practice. 1 hour practice. We'll show you the drills in the first 2 hours. And then the last stretch of it will be a high school team going through those drills so that you can see that. We hope to have tables that will impact all that you're doing. The Delaware Blue Coats, we're hoping, will join us. Blocks, a scheduler. If you want to play a game against a team in another county, we hope to have that all buttoned down and ready for you. But this will be the first venture. Again, October 4th at Archbishop Ryan, October 11th at Archbishop Wood, October 19th. That's a Sunday. Now, the first thing you all went and checked was, what about the Birds? The Birds play at 1 o'clock at Minnesota. We are trying to run the program from 10 to 1 or 11 to 2. Because while you're worried about the Birds on October the 19th at 1 o'clock at Minnesota, VCU is at Villanova for an exhibition game at 5 o'clock. So we want to be respectful of your time. Monsignor Bonner could not host us on Saturday, so Sunday, and we're working to make that time. And then the School of the Futures, Jimmy Lynch, who's the athletic director in the public league, came to us and asked that he would like to have a public school be a site. So thank you to all of them. There will be demonstrators, 3 hours. We're going to start at 9 on those Saturdays, and we're walking out of that building at 1 after 12. And there'll be a way to sign up on makeadifference.com, and you can make any requests, suggestions, questions that you might have. Send that to, what is our email for Make a Difference?
For the podcast?
Well,
no, for the
what's our?
It's on the website pnjmakeadifference.com.
That's it.
Yes, you can find the email on there.
And
in order to get in touch,
please. We want to touch every CYO, middle school, rec team. We want to touch everybody that we can. The Philadelphia Coaching Academy, and anxiously awaiting October the 4th at Archbishop Ryan. So other than that, I watch a few games. So I have to ask you a question.
Just get ready for that Red October. But you got one for me.
No, I was worried for your mental stability. What was the score like? 23-6 or?
It was 26-7 with like 13 minutes left.
And you were not good
in the third quarter. I was there, and I was in shambles. I mean, it was one of the more pathetic showings I've seen from the Super Bowl champs in the past 700 days, maybe. I mean, that was.
Well, they are 19-1 over the last 20 games.
When Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, and Devontae Smith play a full game together, they've never lost, and they've won a Super Bowl together. If the four of them are on the field together and none of them gets hurt and they stay in the game, they have not lost a single game.
Well, give me the atmosphere.
18-0.
What was this? Did you leave in protest?
Absolutely not. I would never leave a game. There were people leaving the game as soon as they scored and went up one. And I'm like, there's 2 minutes left. Matthew Stafford's going to drive this ball down the field and kick a field goal. It's just a matter of, is this kid going to miss it or not? Never in my wildest dreams would I have expected 2 blocked kicks in one game. But I will tell you that it was one of the most unbelievable atmospheres for a game that I've been to, simply because the Boo Birds were out in full. I mean, there's no secret that offenses looked a little lackluster, especially in the passing game to start the year. And man, they looked abysmal. They looked abysmal to start the game. And to watch them just really open up the playbook in the second half and just scratch and claw. I mean, it's the mark of a champion. They just don't quit. They don't quit. And
there were a lot of reasons.
I was losing my mind.
There were a lot of people that were losing their minds as he returned the block field goal.
Oh, yeah.
For a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's hilarious because there was absolutely no need. But it really put the exclamation point on that. He just lays on that, the game's over. But it just made it.
I'm sure there were people on the other side, so to speak, that were like, I hope he trips. But isn't it unbelievable that you immediately go to, I wonder what the spread was?
Oh, no. I had
people in the stands knew.
I had no rooting interest in that regard. I really don't. If I'm ever going to dabble in sports betting, it's never with my heart. I try to avoid the Eagles. But I'm picking my buddy up and hugging him, dancing up and down. We're high five. We were sitting right behind the rookie Darius Cooper's parents. It was their first Eagles game, and they were getting a kick out of us. My buddy was letting them hear it in the first half, and they're cracking up. They're like, "You guys are really like this?" We're hugging and kissing and high fiving at the end of this game, and all I could think of was, I can't believe they covered. They're down like 21 points. And yeah, that was I just have to run through this really quick, and I promise we'll get off the Burrs talk because I know you want to keep it to a minimum. But man, in the past calendar year, I was in person for the reverse hurdle, the Super Bowl, the banner raising, and then the Jordan Davis game, which I'm starting to wonder, do I petition to the Philadelphia Eagles, get me in the building every game because good things are happening? It's hard to argue.
My sense is you might have to get in line. There's people in Fishtown and Kensington and South Philly, and they drive over from New Jersey. And I will only give you this as a story. Phillips' children are enrolled at St. Bridget's in Richmond, Virginia. The director of development at St. Bridget's grew up in Ocean City. Her husband is from South Jersey. Richmond, Virginia. They are season ticket holders for the Philadelphia Eagles. And the quote was, rarely miss a home game.
That's unbelievable.
Now, whether they were there, I don't know that, but we will find out. That'll be on a later episode. And it is fascinating. And I think it's a big deal with all of our people. You said it. There's a championship DNA that they've refused to believe they're going to lose, right? And B, there's a Philadelphia fandom DNA that said this first half is not acceptable. We must express our displeasure.
Look, I mean, you need fair criticism every once in a while. Yep. Everybody knew something was wrong. That championship DNA you speak of, it's borderline maniacal. It was they had a camera on Jalen Hurts as Jordan Davis blocked the kick and returned for a touchdown.
He doesn't move.
He doesn't crack a smile. It reminded me of your one of your good friends, Jay Wright, just not even reacting to Chris Jenkins. And it's just like when you're just built for that moment, you just expect that to happen. You just know that we planned for this. We expect this. We prepare for this.
Wholeheartedly agree with you.
It's
wholeheartedly agree with you.
It's awesome to watch, but it's also a little scary because a little emotion would be the worst thing in the world.
And then going back to our guest, I guarantee you that family was ecstatic because they have been with the Birds all the way back to Dick Vermeil. Dick Vermeil is a close family friend, and at some point would love to reach out to him and all the people that have been impacted by the DiBona family. We can't end this segment without thanking Christine and the DiBona family, because that was all about family, family name, legacy. So thank you. And the next one.
Getting right back in your wheelhouse.
Oh, we're going right back. I don't know if we're gonna have it. We might have to do two-parter.
You think so?
Might have to be a two-parter.
We've stretched a few out where I thought maybe do we invite him back next week? Is this a double episode? But another fun guest coming up next week. Good timing too. Good timing. We're not spoiling it though.
Nope.
We're not spoiling it. Again, our thanks to Christine DiBona Lobley, and a wonderful guest. Fred's Footsteps. Absolutely, if you get the opportunity, research their organization, see what you can do to help their mission. Just yet another difference maker in the city of Philadelphia. If you want to try and make a difference with Phil, head on over to pnjmakeadifference.com. That is where Phil's making a difference in the classroom, in the workplace, on the court, and off the court. You can also find more information about the Philadelphia Coaching Academy there. We are at Make a Difference Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, at Make a Diff Pod on X. Make a Difference with Phil Martelli on Facebook. If you were watching on YouTube, feel free to like and subscribe. If you were listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating. Please. We'd really appreciate that. And if you love that Martelli Minute, you can find it every morning at 6:30 at Phil_Martelli on Instagram. One more, back to back.
Well, I do back to back is appropriate because we have the NL East champs back to back. But now it's time to go get. It's time.
Let's go get the job done.
Let's get the Broad Street, please.
Go Phils.
Go Phils. Go Birds.
Go Birds.